Will Task Force X's trip into space end up being their last? Well, let's hop into the pages of Suicide Squad issue number 10 and find out together, shall we? So then, this issue actually opens with the very unexpected origin story of Calibra, a character who I think we can all agree has been one of the best, newest things to come out of this run. As we discover, young Calibra actually lived a very normal life with a mother who loved her very much and who told her to always try and do good. And her daughter lived by those words too, heroically sacrificing herself to take a snake bite that was meant for her mother. It was after that Calibra fell very ill and may have died too were it not for the intervention of super spy group Spiral. They agreed to save the little girl's life, but only on the condition that they could experiment on her, and thus the supervillain Calibra was born, someone to do Spiral's dirty work and distract the superhero community. Calibra hated having to do Spiral's bidding, but they're not exactly the sort of group you go against. Eventually, she was captured and sent to jail, where she ended up being forced to work for Amanda Waller. In exchange for keeping Spiral away from her family, she would have joined the Suicide Squad and do the bidding of yet another evil master, showing that Calibra's entire life up until now has been one very sad circle. Now back in the present, Match and the others are still dealing with the fallout of their OA mission. They just narrowly managed to escape with a prisoner, only to come under attack by Thanagarians. Their ship was destroyed, they lost contact with Waller, and it's all they could do to battle for their lives. Some do better than others, like poor Black Siren, whose sonic scream doesn't work in space because, well, I don't know if you heard this, but in space no one can hear you scream. Major Force ultimately finds a use for Black Siren, though, choosing to use her as a human shield. Again, this guy is just really going for the gold medal for worst teammate, am I right? The team is ultimately rescued from this fight by the most unlikely of people. It's the Far Sector Green Lantern again, looking to settle the score with the squad after their fight in the previous issue. They're not really so much saved as they are under arrest. And no, the irony isn't lost on anyone on the squad that they're probably the worst version of the team ever, going from prison on Earth to a science cell in space. In fact, Black Siren herself opines on whether or not any of the Suicide Squads have ever been good, only for Ambush Bug to once again comedically break the fourth wall and say he's quite a fan of the Ostrander years, and I mean really, who isn't? It's here too that the relationship between Match and Nocturna actually ends up taking another rather unexpected turn. She actually ends up kissing him. Which, I mean, hey, sure, why not? They're both gray-skinned freaks in prison looking to overthrow Waller. They have needs, and the wall can't listen in on them right now, so why not make the most of their time in a science cell? Of course, as with most Suicide Squad stories, looks are ultimately deceiving. Major Force isn't freaking out like everyone else on the team because he knew coming to this particular science cell was always part of Waller's plan. And in fact, so was Calibra, dying all over again. She doesn't have access to her Lazarus resin pills, which means she ends up kicking the bucket for the third time. Luckily though, this time when she dies, she doesn't go to hell because she becomes, well, a ghost. Which turns out to be exactly what the Suicide Squad needs to come for what Waller was truly after, and that is the all-star prisoner of this science cell, Black Hand, the Green Lantern foe. But wait, if Black Hand was who they were really after, then why did they bother springing that bird-headed scientist from the previous issue? Well, that was also part of the plan. He didn't get arrested, which means he was free to build the team a brand new escape ship so they can get back to Earth. The squad isn't exactly sure what to make of their newest teammate. They're having enough problems with the ultra-evil Major Force, they don't need another wacko added to their ranks. If nothing else though, this latest revelation only further goes on to vindicate Nocturna and Match's plan to escape the squad and overthrow Waller if need be. They better hurry though, as Waller herself claims the acquisition of Black Hand gets her that much closer to her ultimate goal. And then of course we have Rick Flag and his anti-Suicide Squad ready to strike next as well. And so that was Suicide Squad issue number 10, everybody, and once again I continue to really enjoy this book. It was nice getting Calibra's origin story. After all, she's an original creation for this book, and the more I learn about her, the more I like her, and the more I hope she actually ends up sticking around once this series is done. I know that's not always the case for members of the Suicide Squad. They have a bad habit of falling into the ether, never to be seen again. I am, however, not exactly in love with the fact that this book has basically pulled the same narrative trick 3 times in a row now, where we send the squad on a mission only to realize that that wasn't the real mission. I know it's a common trope in these types of stories, and one that even I myself am fond of, but when we keep doing it so close together, it ends up losing its impact and just feels a little lazy. I'm hoping they're all in here for a reason, and maybe there's going to be some satisfying payoff, like Major Force up until now has been the one benefiting the most from these sorts of twists. Maybe the rest of the team does one on him next, but who can say for sure. Overall, I'd give this one a positive 7.5 out of 10. I did really like it.
Hey there everyone, it's your old pal Cave Jewel, and if you're seeing me right now, that means you watched to the end of the video, which I am very appreciative of. It really helps drive engagement and retention and all that other good YouTube stuff. So does liking and commenting. Wink wink. If you like my content too, you should check out my Patreon page. We just redid all the tiers, so there's a ton of great rewards. You can become a patron for as little as $1 a month, and well, it would just really help me out. It's never expected, but always appreciated. So until next time everyone, I've been Cape Joel, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.